Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. A quick sort of intro I'm gonna do here because as I'm filming this I've literally just reached 300 subscribers on this channel, which seems absolutely crazy. I can't believe it, so I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for subscribing, liking, watching, commenting, just supporting my channel. It means the absolute world. I'm planning on doing a Q&A and little giveaway, so if you want to ask me any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll make sure to answer them in my upcoming video. But today's video is going to be a kind of journal flip through. So as you know by now, I am a sucker for journals, notebooks, capturing memories, etc. So I have my bullet journal, which I have a couple of videos about, which I'll link up above. But I also have this journal, which is basically where I put all my journal entries and extra bits and bobs that don't categorize, in my opinion, into my bullet journal. So today we're going to do a flip through of this journal. Basically, an overview of this is any thoughts and feelings I have, any moments in time, any journal entries I want to do, any fun events that I've had and I want to journal about and scrapbook about. It's kind of in here, but it's not a full-on scrapbook, it's not a bullet journal, it's something in between. And this, if you want to know, is a Dingbatz A5 lined notebook in forest green. It has a little deer on. That's kind of the video today. I really hope you enjoy it and get some inspiration for your own journal, hopefully. So without further ado, let's get into the flip through and me talking about the journal spreads, etc. But I hope you enjoy it nevertheless. And once again, thank you for 300 subscribers. So here we are at my journal. If you can see a bit more clearly now, the little deer that is on the front of the cover. Dingbatz is actually really good for helping environmental issues and donating some of your purchase money towards those different charities and stuff. So I highly recommend this as a company for your journals. They're really good quality. They have amazing paper quality as well. They have a little pen holder, a little elastic strap and a little tassel as a bookmark. So without further ado, let's dive into all my juicy secrets. Not really, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this video, but you get my gist. The first spread is my 2020 manifestations, my quote. I always do a quote for the year, and my 2020 goals. Obviously this page was set way before COVID was ever a thing. So I have some goals and stuff that kind of aren't achievable anymore, but it's still nice to reflect on, to see where I was and who I was as a person at the beginning of the year. And I did a little montage. All these photos are from Pinterest of kind of what I want to achieve, a bit like a vision board. And then here we have my 2019 reflection. Every year I kind of just ask myself a few questions. What did I accomplish that year? What disappointed me? What could I have changed or done better? And then I kind of base my next year's goals off those questions that I've answered. And then I have a 2019 letter, which I write to myself about all the things I've done, all the things I've achieved, etc. Just as a little journal entry of my year, so I can have it down on paper. And then, as I said in my intro, I kind of journal and scrapbook some of my favourite events. So New Year's Eve was obviously a fun old time with my boyfriend, so I just printed this little picture off. This is using my HP Sprocket printer, which I have, which is a Bluetooth connected mini printer that prints small size photos on sticky back paper, and they come straight out from your phone and then you can stick them straight into journals. I really highly recommend it if you're into journaling and scrapbooking. They come in really handy. And then I just have a few journal entries, nothing special, we can skip over them. The next one is my boyfriend's birthday, so printed out a few more pictures, and I also printed out just standard photo paper as well from my printer connected to my computer, just so I wasn't using all of the sticky back paper because these can be really expensive, so I don't like using it too often. I did this Nando's thing because in this journal entry I have a bit of a pitta ramble and fangirl. It was my first time I tried the pitta bread at Nando's and I had a bit of an obsession with it. February 8th, I had a journal entry about wanting to become a spin instructor, so I just did kind of remind me that was kind of the time I first thought about spin as a career. And then I've also, like I said in my intro, like to combine a lot of different things in this journal. It's not a scrapbook, it's not a bullet journal, it's something in between. So I do create lists and stuff in this journal as well, and one of these is books to reread. I always love reading new books, but sometimes you just want to revisit old favourites. So I've done a little checklist of books I want to reread, and I just tick them off once I've done it, basically. And then COVID happened. I did 2 letters to COVID. One basically addressing COVID as a person, and the other one just a journal entry about how I'm feeling and what kind of the world is like. And this was written on March 16th, so quite a while ago now. This is another COVID spread. I decided to actually print some newspaper headlines just as a reminder of like when I'm 50 or something, I'm looking back on this journal. It will always be fun and interesting to see kind of what the newspapers were reporting about at the time of COVID, like a worldwide pandemic. So I thought that would be fun to look back on, and it was fun to create actually as well. And then this is the journal entry that I did where COVID was a person and I was basically writing them a letter. And then sometimes I go on Pinterest and I type in journal prompt questions, and one of the questions that kind of came up was, what are you working towards? So I did a little like bullet point of things that I was working towards: becoming a spin instructor, a better relationship with my body, my abs, being happy with myself, my gym wear collection, buying a house, mind over body mantra when working out, like saying I can do this rather than just feeling like I need to give up, my eating habits, a better night routine, living in the moment, reading 100 books in 2020. I've added that one quite recently. Focusing on the positive and not taking my mood out on Mark. I am quite an emotional person and Mark tends to be my punching bag. And then I just did a little quote: a goal without a plan is just a wish. That's one of my favourite quotes, and it kind of went well with this sort of spread. So that's that spread. And then my birthday happened in lockdown, so I thought it'd be quite fun to just write down what we did without family and a very different style of birthday this year. And I printed a few photos out of my parents and my birthday cake. Obviously 22 wrapped up for me, so I did a little scrapbook montage page of everything I achieved during my year of being 22. Just a few highlights: I started a new job, I celebrated Christmas, I did my Disney program, I saw the Jonas Brothers live, JLS got back together, I saw Old Dominion, one of my favourite country bands, I celebrated 4 years of kidney transplant, I started spin, etc. I went to Disney, Mark's first ever trip to Disney. So yeah, I thought that would be quite fun to look back on as like a little time capsule of all the things I achieved when I was 22. And then on June 3rd, obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement really started to get going because of George Floyd. So I just did a journal entry about my thoughts and feelings. And then on June 7th, I did an entry: I want to start a YouTube channel. And it's funny because I didn't actually think I would actually do one. So that's always fun to look back on. So here is another few entries about YouTube. This is when I started it. I just did my little banner up here and some end of the year booktube goals and stuff. So I quite like this spread and how it's turned out. And just down here is my little ending. If you've watched all my videos, you know my ending is: if you liked what you saw and liked what you heard, please give this video a like and subscribe. I thought over time, would I still say that in like 2 or 3 years time? And I thought it'd be quite fun to write it down. So I remembered what I used to say at the beginning of my YouTube journey. And then I have video ideas, books and non-books related. And I also have another journal entry. This one's just about being high risk in isolation and kind of finally coming out of it and being allowed to go out. And then I love country music. It probably should have been on a fact of mine that is non-bookish related, but I absolutely love country music, and this summer a lot of good country music's come out. So I thought I'd do a spread celebrating country music and some of my favourite songs over the summer that were country. And then I sometimes also jot down my dreams. Probably blur this out because they're quite weird and personal to me, but just a little fun little couple of images and doodles and stuff. I quite liked how this section of the spread came out, but I'm not really happy with the clouds and question marks. And then I thought it would be fun to do a post-COVID bucket list, things I can't wait to do when the world is completely normal again, such as visit Walt Disney World, see Dear Evan Hansen live again. I saw it once, it's one of my favourite musicals, I am dying to see it again. Visit one of my friends in her new flat, she recently moved. Dance to live music. I miss concerts so much, and they're probably one of the things I miss most about this whole new world we're living in. Eat popcorn at the cinema. I haven't gone to the cinema since COVID. I would love to eat popcorn at cinema again. Go to afternoon tea at one of my favourite places and not having to wear a mask. So this will probably get added on too, but it's a nice little thing to think about. And then we're kind of getting into very recent spreads. And this was unfortunately the day Chadwick Boseman died. He was an incredible actor, obviously mainly known for his role in Black Panther, and having just rewatched all the Marvel films with my boyfriend over lockdown, his death really hit me, and I wanted to do a spread dedicated to him because he was just incredible and he will truly be missed in mine and my boyfriend's lives. So yeah, I don't want to tear up on this spread, but I really like how it came out and I'm glad that I've journaled about him. And then we come into September and kind of a brief overview of what I want to achieve in the month and a little manifestation of please can my spin bike arrive now, because if you didn't know, I ordered a spin bike back in April and with COVID and constant delays of delivery, it still hasn't arrived. So yeah. And then the next spread, like I said, I journal about anything and everything in this. And I started rewatching one of my favourite TV shows called The 100, so I thought I'd do a season tracker. I just draw a star in every time I've watched an episode of each season. I'm currently like halfway through season 3. I just printed out a picture of all the main characters and then just did a little doodle at the bottom with some birds around the page. Actually really happy with how this spread came out. And then on the 3rd of September, Cody from Cody's Book Corner used my Pin the Tail on the Donkey TBR game in her own special edition of her Spin the Wheel, and the love I've got from her mentioning my channel is the reason I probably hit 300 subscribers so quickly. So I wanted to do a little journal entry about her and how excited I was and how thankful I am to her for mentioning my video in her video. And that, my friends, is it. The last page I haven't actually filled out yet, but I'm testing a reading tracker-esque thing where I paste a picture of the book cover that I'm reading, the title, the author, my rating and notes about the book as I'm reading it. I haven't started it yet, but I'm excited to give it a go. I got this idea from Jess from Books Past Bedtime, so I'll link her channel down below so you can go check her out. So yeah, I'm excited to test out. I haven't yet, but I really like how I've like stuck craft paper and then drawn the border around it. I think it looks really cool. And I have a lot more space to be creative and journal more about my life during COVID and post-COVID, hopefully. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, that's my journal for kind of midway through the year. I really hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some inspiration on what you can include in your journal. If you liked this video and want to see more of maybe me actually creating the spreads in my journal, then let me know down below. I'd love to do that for you guys. But without further ado, if you like what you saw and like what you heard, please give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.